Hi, this is Firestarter, and this is a review of the S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii Kamen Rider Agito, Flame Form, and Storm Form. This is one of the Tamashii web exclusives that was released back in the day, and I'm here to review this just for you. And we don't see a lot of things going on except for the vortex of flame and wind effects, and at the back we just have some poses and some information about the accessories. So let's go ahead and open this box to tell you more what this is inclusive with. The S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii Agito Flame and Storm is one of a few Tamashii web exclusives that was released in Bandai's banner of 3 3/4-inch figures. So let's start with Agito's second form, or Dragon Eye Power-Up Storm Form. Its head and legs hasn't changed that much from ground form, and the main feature is on its torso. Storm Form's gem on the belt has changed from gold to metallic blue, reaching towards its left shoulder, pad, and arm. The other is Flame Form. Similar to Storm, Flame Form's major changes are on the red eye of his Agito belt, overarching to the chest and right side of his arm, but the rest remain the same. A difference except for the obvious color is that Flame Form has bigger and sharper shoulder pad. Both share the intricate design of their typical S.I.C figures and has more details that of their big brother. Each has 2 pairs of extra hands, 1 pair of slightly relaxed motif, and the other to either hold weapons or for the Kiwami Tamashii Tornado. Signature weapons include the Flame Saber and the Storm Halberd. Their weapons have molded effects to rather emphasize more than what they are. Obviously, fire for Flame Saber, while wind/water effect for Storm Halberd. However, even with holding hands, these are wrists already molded together with effects, which limits swapping weapons from left to right. That is right hand for Flame and left for Storm. This means unless you have a Kiwami Tamashii Machine Tornado, holding hands become useless in the mix. Now let's go through the articulation points for both, but I'll take Flame because it has a bigger shoulder pad and people might think that it has some sort of limitation. So we have a nice ball jointed head and neck articulation here, a upper bicep swivel here, and the shoulder pads are on separate hinges, and double jointed elbow, and a ball jointed fist as a default. And then we have upper torso articulation. There's no actual waist because it's molded on the plastic. And then we have a swivel joint here, and upper thigh, double jointed knees, and then we have some articulation on the ankle and the foot. So it goes left and right, up and down. And before anything else, I just want to remind you guys that if you are dealing with Kiwami Tamashiis, sometimes because of the way it is packaged or it was stored, sometimes the fists are really sticking into the slots here. So I suggest to try to wiggle the hand first before you can even take this one out of the socket, because in my experience, if you're not careful enough, you can easily break the pegs on the fist, just like what I did to Trinity a few months back or a few years back. And just like I mentioned earlier, these effects on the blade or on the weapons that it was included in the mix is already embedded, and it's really difficult to take this one out, and you can't really see the designs inside. There are some, but for example, for this blade, it's already in a molded translucent plastic, but while on the halberd we can see some blade designs here, but it's hindered because of the thick translucent plastic of the effects. Another thing I want to show you is the pegs on the wrist. Like for example, for this sword, the peg is in here, and use that just like any other replacement hand that you can need to stick on the figure. Like for example, Flame pops out like this, and then peg it right here. Yeah, it is a snug fit, but it's limited because you don't have an option to place it on the other arm. So there are some limitations on how to play with the accessories, except for the interchangeable hands, but it's one of those things I wish they have done something about it or didn't include that peg for the weapons, so that there are ways to move around this, like switching side to side from one arm to another, like so. So this is what it looks like with the effects or the weapons on both figures. Overall, I had no issues in articulation as I am already familiar with ground form and Trinity in my possession. The effects for this set is great and seldom seen in Kiwami Tamashii line, but it is a downer that there are limitations on swapping weapons from both sides of the arms and the effects molded on the weapons, hindering the additional effort on the blade designs, which should have been another highlight of the set. And that is my review of the S.I.C Kiwami Tamashii Kamen Rider Agito Flame Form and Storm Form. If you want to know the possibilities for both figures, check out the photos at the end of the video and check out the link from the description page for the written review. This is Farstarter, thank you very much for watching and see you on my next review.